All right, for phase two of our word image fusion, the idea here is that you are now going to start exploring your best words and figuring out where the joke is. So it's a matter of working through a variety of options. It's not like the idea is going to just drop, out of the sky and go, "Hey, here I am," right? So here you could see, the idea of orbit, and what's happening, what's going to happen, what's going to orbit. Is it going to be the dot on the I? Is there going to be a planet? You know, um, and here's somebody working through the idea of bushel, right? Which is obviously it's a basket, something that carries things. So they're still trying to work this out, and you can see it's not really happening yet. It might even not be a word that's going to work, right? And that's one of the reasons we work through these designs in pencil first, so you don't spend a lot of time, rendering and or drawing, in detail or working with the computer. So, the idea of cage, what's going to be the cage? Is it going to be inside the cage? So you can kind of see, derail. This is a good one. What happens when the train goes off the tracks, right? And so you could see that at the moment it's not really happening, and so that might be something where it just isn't going to work. A circuit, like a circuit board, so that would be something this person says a little obvious. Yeah. And here, Planet, I don't think these are great sketches myself. I don't feel like the person is really getting through the idea, but it's not like, at least they're trying, right? And so here the person's back on derail again. Defor Defenestrate. I mean, that's a tough word, right? Don't even know how to say it. So you got to be careful about that. Coming back to the concept of cage, coming back to the concept of planet. They're starting to go, okay, well, maybe the E has got the Saturn rings on it. Not a bad idea, right? It could work. Coming back on orbit a little bit there. Derail, still working on derail. Haven't really come up with a good one yet. Hammer, kind of missing the point. That a hammer is an object that hits things, and so they're still trying to work through that. Still not happening. The idea of hide, what's hiding? Is it the I? Does it hide inside the H? So that's starting to happen in here. Descend, that's kind of an obvious thing. Skewer, that's kind of a cool word, right? What's going to happen with that? What's going to get skewered? What is the skewerer? So this is starting to happen. And then let's see what else going on here. Some of these words, like I said, and these are in your words, you're going to be in the same situation. Some of them you just might not be able to get to work, but that's why you have a lot of options, right? That's why you've picked a lot of words to work with to see what's actually going to happen. Is it going to be really obvious and real simple? Like the idea of rewind and using the W as the little arrows, not a bad idea, right? That could definitely work. But you could see they kind of ran through a variety of things using the concept of rewinding tape, and then kind of got into the idea a little bit more of the symbol aspect of it. So that's starting to work, right? Let me rotate that. So again, finding out, wow, rewind, maybe that works. This might be too much, right? It's like, whoa, that's a lot going on here. It doesn't need to necessarily be that complicated, right? Here's somebody working it a little bit more, like this concept of barnacle. They're getting the idea of something stuck onto something, and so they're working that a little bit. Still not there, but getting there. And then acronym, that one I don't think ever went anywhere. The idea of between, I don't think that ever went anywhere. Compete, there was something here. I don't think they got it yet, but the idea of somebody winning, so something definitely happening there. Trying to work on the idea of appetite. I think that was going nowhere, but they're trying. The idea of escaping, right? What gets away? Where does it go? Do you need to see it? So they're still working that out. And defiance, the idea of, going up against something, that you should be doing and you're not going to do it. So there's some ideas happening in here, reversing the E. So there's some good ideas that are starting to happen, right? This is the whole purpose of phase 2, is to see if the idea is going to go anywhere or not. Here coming back to the idea of escape, what gets away, where does it go? Scales, it balancing is the A, the crossbar and the A, the idea is starting to happen. Is it going to happen? We don't know yet, but it's coming along. Here they're working with the idea of shade. What does that mean when you're underneath shade? So your challenge, I don't know if they ever got anywhere on that one or not. The idea of working with erosion, it's coming apart, it's falling down, it's breaking apart. So, is that going someplace? It might be, but, these are the sketches that you do, right? Here's somebody working through it on the computer. I really think that is a mistake, because it's just not a very good conceptualizing tool. So, you can see them kind of working through stuff, but it'd be so much easier if they just did it in pencil, right? Instead of trying to do all this stuff with drawing or finding symbols or, doing things to the text, outlining it, whatever. So you can see that this is, I feel, not a great way of approaching this project. Some people are just not comfortable doing this, but honestly, it's something that it's a way better way of doing it. And I think you can see, that you're going to get kind of hung up in the computer and not really be flexible, right? Here again, kind of just working through some ideas. But I think you get the idea, right? The idea of the cookie, something being eaten, that this is too literal, but it's the beginning of an idea, right? Here's some ideas that are just starting to happen. The hammock for relax. Can you do that with the letters? Is not quite happening yet, but the idea of the E becoming something that eats. It doesn't have to be that literal, but the idea is starting to happen, right? So the idea of drinking with the I being the beer mug. Is it the right glass? Could it be a wine glass? I mean, who knows, right? But at least it's an idea. Here's another example working with a computer where you can see it's really not happening. It's just too difficult. Another example, still too difficult. I mean, here the idea of the infinity with the F being that would this would be where the typeface would make all the difference in the world, but you could figure that out with pencil way faster than you can go explore, typefaces to find the perfect one that has the perfect F for that particular symbol. So I think you can just see this is not the best way of approaching the project. Okay, so that's the idea behind phase 2, developing your ideas and seeing if they're going to work using pencil and paper as the ideal tool. Okay, cool.